Okay, standing here with Barry Camp, and we were taking a look at your car earlier, Barry. We were explaining some of the fundamentals of the wing, the hydraulic wing on the car. That seems to be a real popular thing now.
Yeah, I think it was a cheap way for a lot of the guys to get the cars to handle better. It's not used as much as a lot of people might think, but as the track dries out, you can move it back. As you lose your fuel load, you can move it back. And I think it helps almost everybody in the pits, and it's really not that expensive.
Well, that's a good idea. It never ceases to amaze me what they'll come up with next on these cars. The technology just keeps advancing and going farther and farther each year.
Yeah, the only thing that happens here is I keep getting older and slower, and everything else keeps getting faster and newer.
Well, I don't know about that, Barry. You've had some pretty good runs this season so far. You're campaigning a Ford engine, which is not exactly the norm for a half-mile sprint car track, but I think you're, cutting the way. I think we may see some more Fords come along here in the future. What do you think?
Oh, I'm sure you will. We've gotten some calls from Nebraska and a bunch of other places where guys are starting to think about it. And the more people that get involved, the more that'll want to get involved. And the Ford is doing the job right now. When you figure we're running against everybody else's Chevy, and I'm saying we're doing real well. We run fast and brake a lot, but it has nothing to do with it being a Ford. So I think you'll see a lot more of them.
I know that on the NASCAR scene, it seems like Ford is the only word. You spell NASCAR F-O-R-D these days, and Bill Elliott.
Well, yeah, I think right now the Ford motor is more capable on the NASCAR circuit than it is on the sprint car circuit, simply because of everybody there is running cast iron blocks, and here we're running against aluminum. We can't buy aluminum, so we're running like 300 to 400 pounds heavier than a lot of the cars in the pits. As far as Elliott goes, I think the sport motor is really perfect for long speedways, and I think he's going to win a lot more yet till they all wise up a little bit.
Well, down through the years, I know Fords weren't really too conducive to half-mile sprint car racing. Not being unfair to them, I don't know if anyone really gave them a valiant try until here, well, with you and the Ford team here. Has the Ford Motor Company really have you been able to get their attention with some of the success that you've had with this car?
Oh, yes, they have helped us from the word go, okay. Not as much as I think they should, but they have helped us. And like I said, I think really what you're seeing right now is years ago when I first started racing, which was about 22 years ago, 21, and when I started racing, it was almost all Ford. Then we came into what we call the sprint cars rather than 30 by 90s. The Chevrolet had the better deal weight-wise and cubic inch-wise and horsepower-wise. Now you're seeing a change back where Ford is more competitive that way, and I think you're going to see the change.
Well, they can say, have you driven a Ford lately? Well, Barry Camp's going to drive one here tonight again, and we want to wish you the best of luck, Barry. We hope we see you in the winner's circle tonight.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet. Okay, standing here with Jerry Stone from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Jerry, you've been running the Central Pennsylvania circuit here now throughout the 1985 season, and how do you like racing here in Central Pennsylvania?
Oh, I like it real well. There's a lot of racing here. The competition is really good. That just makes it fun. You know, we haven't done as well as we'd like so far, but every now and then we're getting a little closer, and we're working in, I think.
A lot of people wonder, being from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that is where the Afixco people are from, I assume, and they were wondering, how do you maintain a sprint car in Pennsylvania when your home base is in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well, the company is actually in Tulsa, but they do work all over the country. They just remodeled Bloomingdale's in New York City. So, you know, it's not just a local outfit, and this is just something that come about. I mean, Lloyd has a sprint car running on the World Outlaws that Ron Schumann drives. He has 3 drag boats that run all over the United States, as well as his local cars there, which he has, I think, 4 now running there in Oklahoma. So, you know, it's just not a local organization, and we're out here trying to race is all.
There was a real good article in Open Wheel magazine back here a few issues ago. If you really want to get into the Afixco team and what all it encompasses, that would be a good article for you fans to check on. Is that a Stanton car that I'm looking at there, Jerry?
No, this is a Gambler car here. We have a Stanton car, which we have tore down right now and are doing some work on it. So we just run whatever happens we like and whatever's together.
Well, I know that there's been some people come on with Stanton's. Of course, Keith Kaufman has been real successful with the car. Which do you prefer, Stanton or Gambler?
Well, I'm not going to say I have a preference. The Stanton car I come out here with was an older car, so I don't think it had I don't think it was a true test of what a Stanton is. We've got a new frame now that we're putting together, and as far as a Gambler, I kind of like it. So I always felt like most of these race cars are pretty close to being the same. You know, it's just kind of knowing what to do with it, and maybe we haven't learned well enough yet what to do with it, but we're trying to.
Well, you know, back a few years ago, Jan Opperman made a stop here in central Pennsylvania, and he was quoted as saying that he really learned to race in central Pennsylvania. Now, can you go along with that?
I'd say so far I can agree. I think the racing is tougher here than any place I've ever been. You know, I mean, we got good racing back where I come from, but I don't think we have as many good cars, and it's not quite as competitive maybe as it is right here. Of course, you know, maybe we're off a little bit. I'm just really impressed with the kind of equipment and the drivers and everything out here. You know, it's been tougher than we anticipated, but and again, that's what makes it fun.
All right. Well, admittedly, it would be tough to come in here and beat some of these guys on their home turf. Kaufman was actually born and raised right here in this area. He's been on the Speedway hundreds of, maybe thousands of miles. It is tough going into another area, and the Outlaws have proven that. I mean, a lot of times they even have a problem coming in and racing with the locals here in this area.
Oh yeah, I think the only one of the Outlaws that really looked outstanding when he was here I thought was Kinzer, and the rest of them just kind of blend in, you know, and which is just more reason to be impressed with your local racers. I mean, they've really got some good racers. I grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and maybe I'd like to race Keith there on my track.
Right, that's the point I'm trying to make.
You know, and these guys have been racing here and run these tracks so long that they're tough.
Yeah, they sure are. Well, listen, Jerry, we want to wish you lots of luck tonight and throughout the rest of the 1985 season. We hope we see you back here at Port Royal Speedway, maybe a little more often.
Well, we've run the day races here. This is our first trip up here tonight. We really haven't settled on what we do want to do on Saturday nights. We're just we've been running Sealands Grove, but we're just kind of looking around. We don't know what we want up in this area, so this is a fast track, and it'll be interesting to see what it's like at night.
Yeah, there's always a tug of war for drivers, particularly with Lincoln, which runs on Saturday night. You got Sealands Grove, and of course here at Port Royal, they all get together at Williams Grove. I'm sure you run there.
Oh yeah, we run there every Friday, and you know, like you say, all the good cars show up there, and then they spread out a little on Saturday night.